Hello, this is Drew with a big aquaponics update. We are building an eco-friendly neighborhood urban farm essentially. It's going to be part of a co-op allowing aquaponics the most efficient way to control an ecosystem for plant growth and fish growth into the size of a backyard. So we're going to make it fit for a backyard, fit for a neighborhood, but actually even make it commercially viable. So thank you for joining in and checking this experiment out and seeing all the details that go into it. I'm basically on the focus of greenhouse construction. The last video showed that I had built the foundation already and had a little work party, a fun Memorial Day party with some people interested in the whole project coming over to help with the sidewalls. So here's the result. We got the sidewalls up on Memorial Day a couple weeks ago, and that took a lot of work getting these bottom frames in here that are sitting on top of the foundation piece. Setting the beam, of course, that had to happen first. We get the beam up. Let me show you that real quick. Let's try to keep my camera pointed right. This is a treated wood beam right here. With the decking board on the bottom, that's actually 16 feet long. The decking board only has one joint in the middle since we're in a 28-foot or about 30-foot greenhouse. And the 4x6 pieces are 10-foot long. So when you join it all together properly, what you have is essentially one solid unified piece of wood that's strong and going to keep everything together. It sits on top of the door frames. I didn't secure it to the door frame pieces until the end because there's a lot of small adjustments that need to happen, a lot of weight being shifted, the rafters all pushing and needing to wedge in their perfect place. That was a key factor. So when you build something like this, it's kind of like you don't tighten every screw fully until the end. So the same thing goes here. The beam is the most important thing to place, but it's also sometimes the last screw you want to tighten in. I put these extra diagonals here as I think they add to the beauty of it and as well as just to the feeling of the strength of the whole thing. It just adds a lot of nice dimension, takes some of the boxiness out of it. These miter cuts we're kind of proud of. So we did all the side work on Memorial Day. It took a good solid day. Even after we ate, we worked on it some more. Then last weekend we finished up. My wife and I have been putting up all the rafters that were pre-cut. And that was a fun project that gave us about 20 hours of work to do. Okay, so that was all done. We also treated all this plywood that's going to become part of their inner boxes. These inner boxes are what it's all about. We basically have to make a raft system work. So the bottom 18 inches of the raft system are going to be full of rocks. That's a thermal battery. It comes up to about here. And then the last foot is going to be our raft. That's a key thing to remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up these 30-inch pieces of plywood into my box, like so. Once these are all screwed in, and everything's going to be contained within here. This foam insulation is going to basically keep the thermal battery from losing its heat into the earth. So I'm going to get into the box building. Essentially what I'm doing first is I'm making this this spacer with 4x4 pieces I had left over. I want it to be super strong because part of my plan also to kind of flow with the idea of these big 4x4 diagonals for strength is going to put 4x4 diagonals here coming down to the base down here and then up again, down again, up again, so that the whole system won't rock back and forth. It's going to keep it super strong, it's going to look super nice, and it's going to basically build a good framing for my plywood, which is also going to add to that diagonal torsion strength. That's all you need for a greenhouse. It's going to be probably more than I need, but it's also not a big deal you have to sweat over every little bit, because you can make a strong greenhouse as long as you're in a high wind area without having to go to the nth degree of standards. If there's more that needs to be done, we can strengthen. We can put boards across here. If somebody recommended I do that, I might do it, but if I don't, it's going to be because it has a really solid feel at the end. So this is the essentially outside framing complete situation, and hopefully this week we'll have the inside framing done and these pieces of plywood up and fully treated, and they'll be ready to get our rocks in here. Thanks again. Until next time, this is Drew at the Big Greenhouse in Dallas, Texas.